This is Mitch, and welcome to the Real Estate Investor Summit podcast. I have Shawn Greeves with me today. Interesting guy, man. He's no newcomer to the business. He's been around for a long time. He's over in St. Louis, Missouri, and through trial and error in economies that go bust, we learn a lot of things. And Shawn learned a lot of things as well during the last recession, and he's going to tell us how he upped the game of wholesaling, or basically made wholesaling obsolete. But first, we got to pay homage to our sponsors, taxfreefuture.com. I want to thank taxfreefuture.com for sponsoring this episode. Please go watch the 37 little video vignettes. If you do not have a tax-free or tax-deferred place to grow your finances or your retirement, you have no idea the size of the tool you are missing in your tool belt. It is completely incredible. If the eighth wonder of the world was compounding interest, perhaps the ninth interest of the world is not having to pay tax on your growth. So go to taxfreefuture.com, because you will not believe what your financial advisors are not telling you, and you will not, and we're going to tell you what they're not telling you, and then we're going to tell you why they're not telling you, and it'll all fit together like a well-honed puzzle, okay? All right, that's it for the commercial there, Shawn. I appreciate you bearing with me through that. So you've done about 4,000 deals in your career, right? That's nothing to laugh at, you know?
Yep. About 21 years.
21 years? Yeah, so we've been in it about the same amount of time. Looks like we've been doing maybe the same things. We'll touch on a lot of this stuff. You move a lot of real estate, but you also do some hard money lending. I have a hard money lending company as well. But I think we have it for different reasons. So let's jump right into it. Let's go back and tell us a little bit about your background and how you the bullet points on how you got this far, and then we'll jump in.
Okay. Well, let's see. It all started 21 years ago. I was dealing poker in Las Vegas and realized I wasn't going to get rich doing that. So I put a success formula together, and actually I have a book on it. And I came back home to St. Louis, and I made a decision I was going to come back home and start buying houses, because back in the early 80s, I bought a bunch of VA foreclosures because they were offering financing and you can buy them for nothing down. Well, they don't do that anymore. But 21 years ago, I came back from Las Vegas, and I decided I was just going to buy houses and fix them up and sell them. And so I started doing that. Actually started with no money, and that's a whole nother story on how.
And what a great time that was back then, because there wasn't a dozen TV stations, and you could, I started about the same time, and you could get in the classifieds at 8 in the morning, and by 12 you could have a perfectly good deal. And if you screwed up, you'd have two good deals, and you wouldn't know how you're going to pay for it all. Well,
even back then, if you remember, I don't know about you, but I was the only guy that would put up bandit signs. There were nobody doing bandit. Then everybody started catching on, but I was all by myself. It was great.
That's how I bought every house besides the classified. When I started getting really aggressive and I wanted more, I put out 600-700 bandit signs in the city in like a 2-week period, and I would buy houses out the wazoo, you know. And then it got to where that didn't work. Then it got to where that didn't work so well anymore.
Right. So so I was just buying houses and fixing them up and selling them, and that was good. And then I started getting private investors, just private individuals that wanted to invest with me, because I started working with the banks and they didn't want to do multiple deals with me. So I started finding private money. Next thing I knew, I had access to millions of dollars. And with the access to millions of dollars, I couldn't spend it all. So not only was I rehabbing houses, I started using their money through me to finance other rehabbers. So my hard money business just shot through the roof. And so things were going great. And actually I was making about $80,000 a month. And then the real estate market crashed. Okay,
the economy crashed.
Everything crashed. And so I liquidated all the loans, lost a lot of money because I could only sell the houses about half of what we were into them for. And I gave my word to my investors that they would never lose a penny. And so that's like one thing it's really important. If you want to be successful, you have to keep your word. You have to operate out of a higher level of integrity. And it just seems like in our business, there's a lot of guys that don't operate out of integrity and they're constantly struggling. So
Yeah,
operate out of a higher level.
So glad to hear you say that. I have about $20 million worth of private money, and I'll be dead before they don't get paid. That's what'll happen.
Yeah. I gave them my word. My word is gold. So the reason I lost a lot of money was because I took the money out of my pocket and I made my investors, got them back to whole. I actually paid them every month until I could liquidate the properties because I gave them my word. So now I got rid of all my rehabs. They were gone. All my loans were gone. And there I sit. What do I do in this real estate market where there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of foreclosures all over the country? So I got to thinking, well, a lot of the houses in my city, it's North St. Louis County, it may be a lower income area. Though that's a rental area. And I was guilty of it myself. I was buying houses in North St. Louis County, fixing them up, selling to homeowners. So the rentals turned into owner occupieds. Then when their interest rate shot through the roof after 1 year, because they all got a 1 year adjustable rate mortgage, they couldn't afford the payments anymore. And since most of them got in for nothing down, they walked away from the houses. And so there were thousands of vacant houses in this lower income area. And so I thought, well, what happened to all the rentals? This is a rental area. Why don't I go back and do rentals with these houses? Because I could buy them. We were selling the houses for $90,000 retail, and they were back on the market for about $15,000. It was insane. As a matter of fact, I bought back some of the houses that I sold for $90,000 for $15,000. I almost thought it was like bad mojo, but hey, business is business. And so I started accumulating rental houses. And before I knew it, I mean, a lot of them, they were recently rehabbed, so it only took maybe a week to get them up in shape. And I had 4 crews going. And in no time, I had 83 houses. I thought I wanted 100, but when I hit 60, I was managing them all myself, meeting with the tenants and the inspectors, running my crews. It was killing me. And so I stopped at 83. So I was bringing in about $42,000 a month in profit for myself. Well, you still couldn't buy a house and fix it up and sell it and get a loan from a bank because banks were busy getting bailed out by the government. So I rode the wave out until the banks started lending again. Of course, you started doing seller financing, which is very smart, which kind of got you through that hump.
Yeah, because the cool thing was I didn't have to rehab the house. I could buy it and seller finance it to someone who wanted to fix it or a landlord. So so it took all the risk out of it because the risk was in the rehab for me. But I'm still really interested. Enough about everyone already knows about me. I want to figure out what your twist on it.
Okay, so kept the houses for about 4 years. Then banks started lending again, and guys started calling me for loans again because I had actually my investors are football players, so I have access to millions of dollars, and they kept wanting to know when are we going to get this money back out. I was using them for the rentals.
What do you offer to pay them?
I pay them 12% interest.
Okay.
I lend it out at an annualized 30%. And that's a whole nother course on my hard money lending. But so I lend it out at 30, I pay 12, I keep 18%.
We'll talk about the lending in a minute. Let's keep going with the house.
Okay. So about 4 years later, banks started lending again. And guys started calling me for loans. And so I was like, okay, so I got the loan business back up and running. I had the 83 houses, so now I'm back up to making about $80,000 a month. But I hated the rentals. So I made the decision that I need to get rid of these rentals because they're driving me crazy and I hated them. Because low-income tenants are high maintenance.
That was me. That was me too. The same story, exactly. Like someone shoot me.
I mean, I like to say, how many low-income tenants does it take to change the light bulb? The answer is 0. They won't change the light bulb. They'll just call the landlord. It's crazy. So I wanted to get rid of the rental houses. Most people in their right mind would never get rid of $40,000 a month in income, but I knew I could make more doing loans and wholesaling. So now I had the challenge of how do I get rid of 83 houses? And I don't want to take 5 years. I want to take 5 days. So I started doing some research, found out that there were buyers coming from, say, California, and they were buying houses all over the Midwest because they could buy more houses with their money in the Midwest than they could in California. So I found the buyers and I started marketing to them. It took me 4 months to get rid of 83 houses. So in the worst real estate market that we'll ever know, between the cash flow and the profit on the houses in that 4-year period, in the worst market we'll ever know, I made a profit of $2.1 million. Okay. So I wanted to get my loan business back up and running. So I put a seminar together, just a 2-hour seminar to teach people how to do what I did, how to buy houses, fix them up, and sell them quickly in 30 days or less. Okay. Since then, I was doing it to get my loan business going. I gave them just enough to be dangerous. But people kept calling me after I stopped giving the free seminars. They kept calling me saying, when's your next seminar? I was like, whenever you're ready to take my training. So I put together a more intense seminar to teach people how to get the phone to ring with sellers without having to spend any money marketing, how to get the phone to ring with buyers without spending any money to market, what to do to the houses. And we don't do rehabbing. And rehabbing is a bad word to me. No new kitchens, no new bathrooms. Everybody that rehabs a house, especially if you're new, first thing is, okay, we're going to put in a new kitchen, new bathroom, and we're going to replace the windows. And it's too much. I want my students to be in and out of a house in about 2 weeks. Then, in the meantime, once you land a buyer, there are hundreds of buyers. In my trainings, I teach people how to find about 200 buyers for their houses. It's so simple. It's crazy, because most people, we buy the 2-bedroom houses. That's about usually what we'll buy. 3 bedrooms also. But your average rehabber does not touch a 2-bedroom house, because you can't sell it to a homeowner, because most homeowners want 3 bedrooms, a bath and a half, and a garage. Okay, but there are certain areas in every town has low income, say Section 8 areas. Most of those houses are 2-bedroom houses. Most rehabbers don't want to touch them because you can't sell them. We love them. That's our wheelhouse, because that's rental property. And so I teach people how to find the buyers that are going to buy these rentals. They're going to pay cash, no appraisals. If you've ever done a retail deal, you can lose the deal when the appraisal comes up, or just waiting to close when that buyer goes out and buys a new car because they found out, oh, I qualify for a house. I'm going to buy a car on credit. That their deal dies because their income to debt ratios gets killed.
Yeah, or when the inspector goes out and sends 40 pages of bullshit of nothing.
Those whole house inspections kill more real estate deals than anything else.
I tell everybody, listen up. If you're going to sell a house on a new loan, just go get the inspection before you even list it, before you even put it out there. Then call the inspector, punch it out, and then call the inspector back and get it done and solve that issue. If you're going to do it, it's the only way to do it. Do it.
Yeah, those last minute surprises will kill you. Just when you think you've done the perfect rehab, then a week before the closing, the whole house inspector comes out with a list of a mile long of stuff that you would never do on your own house. But they scare the buyer.
But it'll scare the buyer to death, and it does one of two things: kills the deal, or gives them all this ammo to renegotiate the price.
Yeah, and you're going to end up spending maybe another $5,000 or $10,000 putting on a new roof. Oh, the furnace only has so much life. You need a new furnace and air conditioning. I mean, just doing retail. I haven't done a retail deal in years and years. I don't want to do. I can do retail. I can buy any way I want, but the way that I do this business is I do those cheap, easy houses, and we kick them out every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. We're kicking out houses to guys that are begging for deals. And once you find those deals, the buyers, for starters, you can't buy enough houses, supply enough houses for all the buyers. All you need is 1 or 2 buyers, and they're begging. I have one of my students, she just sold a house. She contacted the guy, and he says, okay, I'll buy the house under one condition. She says, what's that? He says, I'll buy the house if you give me every house that you get done. He says, don't call anybody else. I want to buy every house that you do. That's because there's this scarcity for the buyers, and we're the supplier. Like Zig Ziglar says, help enough people get what they want, and you get what you want. We supply houses. Now, we don't sell retail. We gotta make sure that it's a good deal for the buyer. So we give them equity in the deal so that they can cash flow, but they pay cash. The appraisal, there's no appraisals. A lot of times the guy from California that's going to buy in St. Louis or the Midwest, he's got a management guy there in town. he may have 80 other houses, and the management guy will come over and go, yep, it's just like the other 80 houses that you got, go ahead and buy it. And I teach people what to pay for houses, what to do to them, what to sell the houses for so that they'll sell quickly, how to find the buyers, how to find the sellers. I teach them absolutely everything so that there's no guesswork, and I give unlimited coaching for as long as somebody wants. I don't charge, a lot of gurus out there will charge thousands and thousands of dollars for ongoing coaching. With my program, I don't charge anything else. I hold your hand and make sure you're successful, because once you get it, you're not going to need me forever. But you're probably not going to come across anything. The training course is $5,500. It's a 2-day training. Got to come to my town, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I don't hold anything back. I'll show you in your town where the buyers are.
Okay, so go to reinvestorsummit.com/Greeves, Greeves. And over there, we're going to have links to anything we talk about here, the book or the course, or how to get a hold of Shawn to get more information, or anyways, it'll all be over there in the show notes. But I want to keep going with this good information. So you're willing to go and show people where the buyers are in their town. And you're saying you had 200 buyers ready to go on any one of these houses. And basically then you narrow it down to the 2 or 3 or 4 that aren't bullshit and have the money and do what they say and show up. And you don't need anybody else, right?
Yeah, these guys, like, I got a brand new student. He just started with me 2 months ago. He found a guy that wants to buy 25 houses. Okay, 20. And yesterday he just closed on his second house, and he can't supply. It's going to take him. He wants to do 20 houses over the next 12 months. So the goal is to make 10,000 a house, because here's the deal. If you know the game of baseball, every batter is trying to hit the ball out of the park. Most every batter is trying to hit a grand slam, just like real estate investors. Most real estate investors are trying to buy houses to make $40,000. Okay. If I told you, hey, I got a deal where you're going to make $10,000 on a house, most real estate investors are going to go, 10,000? Well, that's not very sexy. I want to make 40,000. And I'll say, okay, well, how long?
And then they spend 7 months making 40,000, and it'd been better off making $10,000 a month, and that's 120,000 a year.
That's right. They're like, oh, I'd rather make 40,000 and take 7 or 8 months. I was like, 7 or 8 months, we're making $70,000 or $80,000, and you're having to deal with all these contractors and replacing kitchens and bathrooms. No, I don't even replace cabinets. Unless they're falling apart, we're not replacing cabinets. So I boiled this down. I can do this business any way that I want to. I can buy $1 million houses, or I can buy the $15,000 houses. And I can buy and I don't like to buy in the war zones. I'll buy the next step up.
Yeah.
And they're so easy because the demand is huge for these houses. And we just give the buyers what they want. And there's no whole house inspections. There's no appraisals. They have cash. It's like, when can you close? I was like, whenever you're ready, man. But, I'm making this sound easy. It's just like anything else. At the beginning, when a train starts off, a full train, it starts off slow. But once you're up and running, you can run through a school bus and tear right through it. But it's just like anything else.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because, I see a lot of people wanting to get into this business, and they do for a little bit till they find out that it's work, and it's really front end heavy, because you don't have any systems, you don't have any real knowledge if you're starting out new. So these, you got to give yourself a long runway to get some wind under your wings, because you don't just start off. The first year you have no connections and you don't know anything if you're starting off from zero. So,
well, Mitch, I have people hitting the ground running as soon as they take my training, and they may find a deal in the very first week.
Sure.
I will teach people how to find the money to do the business with, how to find the purchase money, the fix-up money. I teach you how to do everything. I'm a hard money lender. I'm in my state. Yes, I don't lend anyplace else, but I'll teach you how to find other people with money, private money or hard money, and I'll show you how to find your fix-up money, so it doesn't require that much money. As a matter of fact, the less money you have in the deal, the higher rate of return you make on your money. So once you start accumulating a lot of money, rich people think about rate of returns. That's how we think. What kind of rate of return am I making on my money? Okay, so to figure, if you're going to make a high rate of return, try and have as little money into the deal as possible, and your rate of return goes through the roof. A lot of people want to pay all cash for a house and all their money, and the rate of return is not as high. Well, I'll teach you how to get 1,200% return on your money.
The biggest point is you can, I don't care how much money you have, you can only buy so many houses with your money, unless you're a billionaire and you can start to buy houses from your cash flow. But for the most part, people are very limited on how many houses they can buy, just in general.
Right.
There is no limit to the amount of houses you can buy if you're using OPM or other people's money. And I'll buy just under 100 houses this year. That's neither here nor there. But I have no money in any of them. As a matter of fact, not only do I not have any money in them, I get my $2,000 back in my pocket that it cost me to find that guy who sold me that house. Because finding houses isn't free most of the time. I understand you might have a little angle on that, but
yeah.
Are you spending money finding these houses, or very little, or none?
No, almost none. I mean, it's so easy to find houses. It's crazy. See, a lot of people, you take a training and forgive me because I haven't taken your training, but most trainings, you have to set up a buyer website, a seller website. You have to spend all this money doing this marketing. And before you know it, you're $3,000, $4,000 out of pocket just to get started. Hey, I don't want you to spend any money getting started. I'll show you how to make the phone ring with deals. I'll show you how to find the buyers. I don't have a website for this real estate business. I don't need it. It's too easy.
So go to REInvestorSummit.com/Greeves. You want to find out more about exactly what Shawn's talking about. Golly, it'd be crazy anybody listening is not intrigued. Hell, I'm intrigued, because I do spend money finding houses. It would be nice not to spend that much money. You may have a new student in me. Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I just bought a book, just came out in April. It's called The Success Formula for Humans. This is the exact formula that I used to come back from Las Vegas to get rich. I put this formula together. I've stuck with it for years. Okay, it's on Amazon for $20. And it's $9.99 on Kindle. I'll give anybody that signs up for the training, I'll give the book for free. Because you have to have the right mindset in any business, because most people have a scarcity mindset anyway. I'm going to teach you how to live out of abundance, because you know what? There are so many deals out there, and yes, I've been doing it a long time, and it's easy for me. After a while, the more you do it, the easier it gets. But you at least have to have a formula on how your mind works for success. I'm going to teach you how to build a success map. I teach you how to build a map to follow to do any business. And because we get off track, we all get off track. We live in a negative world. And when you get off track, when you want to get back on track, all you got to do is get right back onto your map again and go, okay, this is where I left off. I was doing this and I stopped. Okay, I should have been doing this. Okay, I'm right back on track. So I'll teach you how to stay on track with your business. This works with any industry. So I'll give you the book for free if you take my training. But the mindset is so important. And you know this. You've gotten off track. You get discouraged sometimes. But we also know the potential. I know if I want to make more money, that's the beauty of this real estate business. Let's say you go buy a Subway sandwich shop. The only way you're going to get business is from your sign on the front of your building, and you'll be sending postcards out to the neighborhood and maybe some TV advertising. And you have to sit and wait and hope people come into your door. Okay? With real estate, if you want to make more money, just go out and find more deals. The money will come to you. You can go and find, there's boxes of money laying around everywhere with your name on it. All you got to do is know the right techniques to go and find those boxes, because they're sitting there waiting with your name on it, and there's $10,000 and it's all taped up and it's got your name written on it. Just go and find it. I teach you how to go find those boxes of money. I'm not trying to say it's so easy, but once you do it, you're going to wonder, where was all this money before? Because now the money's just going to start coming to you when you get your mindset right and you start accepting the abundance that's out there in our world, that the universe does supply abundance for us, whether you know it or not. You just got to allow it to happen. Let's say you're walking down the sidewalk and you find a penny. There's a penny laying on the ground. Most people will walk past it. That's the universe saying, here's some money. Let's see what he's going to do with it. Oh, wait a minute. He walked past it. Why are we going to give him any money? So you have to change your mindset to allow this money to come to you, and it will come to you. You'll be so shocked at how the money starts coming to you. You may be doing this business already and struggling. For starters, you may just wanting to be a wholesaler. Let me tell you, that's the lazy way to try and make money in real estate, and there's too many people trying to be a wholesaler. You can only slice that pie so many times. There's not enough deals out there for you to quit your job and be a wholesaler. Sorry, I've tried it. I know hundreds of people that have tried it. There's not enough deals. Why not go to the next level, pick up those houses, do light fix up, no major rehabbing. Rehabbing is a bad word in my book.
So Shawn, I'm confused now, because it sounds like what you're talking about is a form of wholesaling, isn't it? Making $1,000 a house.
I don't know. Let's say you fixed up a house and it's worth $120,000 retail, and you discount it because maybe you're desperate, maybe you're going broke, and you discount it down to $100,000. And it's a $120,000 neighborhood. Is that wholesaling?
Oh, okay. So you're fixing them up.
We're fixing them up. We're doing light fix up.
Light fix up. Okay.
No rehabbing.
So that's kind of, okay. So here's the difference. Wholesaling, you just get it. You get a contract. You either sell your position or, you buy it and then you sell it for a little bit more, but you don't, it's pretty much as is, I guess, normally. And what you're doing is you're going ahead and fixing it up, making it decent. And then you're going to the landlords of the world and marking the house down so there's enough room for them so that the first one you talk to will buy it. I've always said, if you're wholesaling houses and they're not moving, it's because you're not wholesaling them. You're retailing them or you're wholetailing them, but you're not, because, how do you find cash buyers for wholesale houses? You should only need one. You should only have to make one phone call to a real investor if you're really selling wholesale, right? And that's what you're getting at. Really wholesale these houses.
No, well, see, there's industry
really give them a discount so there's a value.
Selling at a discount. That's right, because I started talking about the baseball. Everybody's trying to hit a grand slam, okay?
Yeah, and it takes base hits and putting the runner on base every time.
Man, if you just tap it over the infield, you make base hits. Every day you hit a base hit. Every day, boom, boom, boom. It's so easy to hit a single, but everybody's trying to hit a grand slam and they're going broke. Let's say it takes them 8 months. They'll never do another house for the rest of the year.
The secret of it is that if you'll just go for base hits all the time, you're going to find your doubles and your triples and your grand slam on accident. They're just going to show up. You'll find 1 or 2 grand slams a year, not even trying to swing for them.
Exactly. But just go for the singles. Just hit the singles.
I've been I've been making it big on little deals for a long time. I don't know who coined that phrase, making it big on little deals, but I know somebody coined it. But I've been making it big on little deals forever. And once or twice a year, I'll make 120 or 90 or 80 on a couple of houses, and it'll just make your whole
fall in your lap.
year. Yeah,
That's the way the universe works.
I don't think I'm gonna sell this one to my friends over in California. I think I'm gonna go direct to the market here today because this one's a no-brainer.
Sure.
100 grand.
Look, when you start making $100,000 or $200,000 a year, you're gonna. I don't encourage it, but you're going to do a retail deal from time to time, and you're going to deal with all the headaches, the appraisals, the inspections, the contractors, and all that. And I've got some students that are like, I think I want to do a retail deal. I'll tell them,
well, you know what? And to your point, I mean, instead of making 100 grand, you can make 70 grand and go right to your guys in California, and it'll be over tomorrow.
Yeah, see, a lot of guys are making, I don't know, $40,000 a year at their job, working 60 hours a week. That's 4 deals. That's, if you're doing 1 house a month, that's 4 months. Take the rest of the year off. But I'm warning you, it's so addictive that once you get this machine up and running, you're not going to want to stop. You're going to make 20,000 a month and
We're all
30,000
deal
a month.
junkies, aren't we? We're all deal junkies. So,
Oh,
and, and the other, you know, when you think you're going to make 100 grand on a retail full thing, you never do, because by the time the appraiser, by the time you pay all the realtors, by the time the lender repair requirements and everything, you don't make what you think you're going to make.
Making 70,000, you're not making 100.
So you're saying just screw it, just make the 70,000 tomorrow and get a cash buyer and go set a closing this week, you know?
Yep.
Instead of waiting 6 weeks or 6 months, however long it takes, sometimes these people.
That's brutal. You know what? When you're doing a deal and it takes you 7 or 8 months, you're thinking about it 24 hours a day. When you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you just don't go right back into bed and go fall right back to sleep. You're going to think about that contract that hasn't showed up for 3 weeks, or the bid that came in. They came in at a higher price than their bid. It's so stressful doing these big retail deals. Do the easy ones, light fix up, in and out. It's such a better way to live. Rentals, I tell people, you don't want rentals unless you got $100,000 in the bank. Because you know what? When I had my rentals, my tenants knew when I was going on vacation. Because when you walk into the airport, it's all tile. But when you go through the TSA thing, the metal detector, it's carpet. For some reason, when my toes touched the carpet, my phone would start ringing with the tenants with problems. I couldn't even go out of town. It was crazy. But with this here, we're not dealing with tenants. Yeah, they're rental houses. We're not going to rent them out, because these guys that are buyers, they're working with management companies. They want to qualify their own tenants. They don't want your tenants. So you don't even have to rent the houses out. So you don't even have to deal with them. So I've been a landlord. I know what it's like. Having 80 houses.
I agree with you on that. Okay, so we're pushing the clock here. So let's do this. You also are a hard money lender. You have a book called Kiss the Stock Market Goodbye. We're going to put all the information on how you get to that. You know, the book sells, I want you guys to listen to this carefully. The book sells for $1,000, guys. And the first reaction of everybody is, who the hell charges $1,000 for a book? Well, you know, if you have that attitude about books like that, then don't even pick them up, because you're not ready. Don't even read you know, the preface of it, because you're not ready. That book's worth $1 million. I have a book on Amazon that I had to lower the price to, so Amazon would let me sell it at $50. People look at my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, The Art of Owner Financing, and go, why the hell is this book $50? And I'm going, man, just put it down and walk away. You have no idea. You're not ready. Because that book's worth $1 million if it's worth 10 cents. And you know what I had? You're going to worry about $50. In this case, I'm in the hard money loan business. It's one of the greatest businesses ever. So if you want to talk about a business that's really easy to make passive, because you only need a little bit of help to make it passive. You know what I mean? A little bit of help and some checks and balances, and you can make a lot of money in hard money lending. And when your toes hit the carpet at the airport, no one's calling you. You know, and you know,
I make a lot of money.
The way I look at hard money lending, and the same as you, is I'm either going to get paid as agreed, or I'm going to get rich if I get this property.
Right. So I do have a course to go with that book. I'll actually give you the book for free if you take my course.
So go to REinvestorSummit.com/Greeves, Greeves, and we'll go over there. You can look about the hard money lending course. You can get that free book. If you sign up for the course, you can also get a free book, The Success Formula for Humans. If you go sign up for his other course there about selling properties to landlords and investors. Man, it's really been a pleasure. I could probably talk to you for a week, and we'd never finish talking.
We got plenty of war stories.
Yeah, right?
You ever make it? Want to learn how to do I call it the easiest way to get rich in real estate, because I can do real estate any way I want, and doing the way that we do the cheaper houses is so easy, and take the stress out of your life. And I'll coach you. I'll hold your hand. I'll make sure you're successful. You know, I don't have to do this. I don't need anybody's money, but you know what? just like you've got the battle scars, and we've earned. I don't know if I call it the right, but to share our knowledge, we've had to pay. We've paid for the knowledge that we have, because when a deal goes bad,
handsomely, right? The street is ruthless. It'll charge you everything you have.
Yeah. So learn from my mistakes. I will tell you everything, and I'll be available to you at no extra charge, because you're not going to come across anything I haven't come across. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to lose a lot of money, because it's expensive. When you make a mistake in real estate, it's expensive. Let me help you quit your job, set yourself free. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to pay your credit cards off. Then you're going to buy a nicer car. And then you're going to buy a nicer house. Oh, and in between there, you're going to be going to the Caribbean, and you're going to be going to Europe, because you're going to have so much free time. You're going to quit your job. That's my main goal for everybody, to quit your job. I don't care if you're making $100,000 a year. The time that you have to put in to make that $100,000 a year working for somebody else, you're sacrificing your life. You're capped. Yep. You can easily make what the boss is making, and be your own boss, and not have to answer to anybody else ever again, because there's always going to be houses. This model that I do is not seasonal. If you want to do retail, that's seasonal, because nobody's going to move in December and pull their kids out of one school district and move them to another. Landlord buyers buy year round. It's not seasonal at all. So you make money year round. You're going to be doing 2 and 3 houses at a time. And you're going to be wondering where all the money was.
They're still buying in the recession too. The smart ones, the big ones, they're buying more in the recession. Right?
Yeah. So there's always buyers for this model. And there's 100 ways to skin this cat. I think this is the easiest way. And then once you accumulate cash, hey, let's talk about you being a hard money lender, so you make money 24 hours a day while you're sleeping, while you're playing, while you're on vacation, and supercharge your business.
Go to REInvestorSummit.com/Greeves and check it all out. There'll be all the contact information. If you need to get a hold of him and have a little consult before you make your decision, he'll be available. Very interesting, Shawn. I appreciate you taking the time. I want to thank TaxFreeFuture.com for sponsoring this segment of the podcast. And please take a look at their 37 videos, little video vignettes, just all the amazing things you can do. You won't believe what your financial advisors are not telling you. We're going to tell you what they're not telling you, and we're going to tell you why, and it'll all make sense. All right, my friend.
And I want to talk to you guys. Give me a call.
Yep, there he is. Talk to you in a bit, Shawn. Thanks for being on. This is Mitch Stephen with the Real Estate Investor Summit Podcast. We out of here. Bye now.